Every single day, 300,000 people walk through museum doors around the world to stand face to face with history, art, and wonder. But only 10 museums claim the majority of these visitors. Today, we're revealing which ones and why they're absolutely worth the crowds. Hi, I'm Amit, and today Curated Globe is going to look at the most popular museums in the world. And no, this isn't going to be some snobby art lecture where I pretend to understand what Picasso was thinking. From ancient Egyptian treasures that'll make you question everything, to actual spacecraft that touched the freaking moon, we're counting down the 10 most visited museums on Earth. These places combined pull in over 70 million visitors annually. That's like the entire population of France decided to go look at cool stuff. These aren't just buildings where they store old things behind glass. These are the places where you stand in front of something and you get goosebumps, where your Instagram feed becomes actually interesting, where you finally understand why your art history friend just won't shut up about the Renaissance. So let's jump in, starting with number 10, proof that dinosaurs never go out of style. Kicking off at number 10, London's Natural History Museum pulls in about 5.4 million visitors a year. And the second you walk into that main hall, you'll get why. There's this massive Diplodocus skeleton, and they call her Dippy, just casually hanging out like, hey, welcome to my house. But here's what's wild. Everyone comes for the dinosaurs. But then you stumble into the minerals gallery, and suddenly you're looking at actual rocks from space, like meteorites that are older than Earth itself. There's one that's 4.6 billion years old. Billion with a B. Yeah, this is where your existential crisis could start if you think about it too much. The hidden gem here is the earthquake simulator. It's where you can experience the 1995 Kobe earthquake. Nothing says fun day out like simulated natural disasters, right? But seriously, it's incredible. And get this, it's completely free in London, the city where basically breathing will cost you £5. And this is where Darwin's theories come to life. They've got specimens he actually collected. You're basically walking through the birth of modern biology, but it's way less boring than it sounds. And speaking of evolution and evolving, let's head to DC, where we've turned nostalgia into a science. The Smithsonian's American History Museum is basically America's attic. If your attic had 5.5 million people trampling through it every year. This place has everything. The actual Star-Spangled Banner that inspired the national anthem. And it's huge, like I'm talking basketball court huge. The tearjerker here? Abraham Lincoln's top hat. The one he wore to Ford's Theater. Yeah, that night. It's just sitting here, and suddenly history isn't some abstract concept. It's a real guy with a real hat who had no idea what was coming. Then you turn the corner and bam, Julia Child's entire kitchen. Like they literally took it from her house and reconstructed it. Next to Kermit the Frog, which is next to Dorothy's ruby slippers. This museum has commitment issues in the best possible way. But if you want to see some real gems, literally, stay in DC. 6 million people come here. And let's be honest, most are here for one thing, the Hope Diamond. This 45.5 carat blue diamond is supposedly cursed, but just really stupid beautiful. But then you discover the Butterfly Pavilion, where hundreds of live butterflies just fly around your head and you're like, curse? Whoa, what curse? There's a butterfly on my nose. It's this weird tropical paradise in the middle of Washington where butterflies literally land on you like you're some Disney princess. The fossil collection is insane. They've got a T-Rex named the nation's T-Rex because, apparently America needs our own dinosaur. All right, let's go from American excess to Italian Renaissance excess. The Vatican Museums. 6.5 million visitors cramming into the world's smallest country to see art that'll basically ruin all other art for you forever. Everyone knows about the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo laying on his back for 4 years painting that ceiling. But here's what nobody tells you. When you finally get in there after shuffling through what feels like 9 miles of corridors, they ask you not to talk. Like at all. The guards try to shush you immediately, so you can have this profound moment with God giving life to Adam, and you can't even whisper, "Oh, holy crap," to your friend. The sleeper hit, the Gallery of Maps. It's this long corridor where 16th century maps of Italy painted on the ceiling. And they're weirdly accurate for being 500 years old. Plus, way less crowded because everyone's racing to see the famous stuff. From papal collections to the British Museum, where they basically have like everyone else's stuff. The British Museum. 6.8 million people a year come here to see the world's most controversial collection of finders keepers. The Rosetta Stone is here. You know, that rock that unlocked Egyptian hieroglyphics and basically invented archaeology. It's always surrounded by people taking photos like it's going to translate their Instagram captions. Another crowd favorite, the Lewis chessmen. These 12th century chess pieces, carved from walrus ivory with these hilarious expressions. The queens are literally face palming, which proves that being done with everyone else's nonsense is timeless. They've got actual mummies, like real dead people wrapped in bandages that you can just look at. It's educational, but it's also kind of super weird when you think about it. Hey kids, want to go see some corpses? From ancient history to Houston, we have a museum. 7 million people flood into Air and Space every year, making it one of the world's biggest museums. And honestly, it deserves every visitor. You can literally touch a rock from the moon. The moon. It's just there, and they're like, oh, go ahead, touch it. 4 billion years old, brought back by Apollo 17, and now it can have your fingerprints on it. The Wright brothers' actual plane, the one from Kitty Hawk, is hanging right above you. The same room has the Apollo 11 command module that went to the moon. That's going from first flight to moon landing in one room. All right, here's a hidden gem. Amelia Earhart's bright red Lockheed Vega, the plane she flew solo across the Atlantic. Her actual flight suit is there too, and it's tiny. Like, she was badass, but she was also small. Back to London, where apparently they can't stop building amazing museums. The National Gallery sits right on Trafalgar Square, pulling 7.5 million visitors who come for one thing: Van Gogh's sunflowers. But honestly, reducing this place to one painting is like going for a buffet and only eating breadsticks. Yeah, the sunflowers are incredible. Van Gogh painted happiness while battling demons. But have you seen the Arnolfini portrait? The 15th century painting is basically like a medieval Instagram post with hidden symbols everywhere. That tiny dog? Loyalty. The single lit candle? The presence of the Holy Spirit. Or maybe they just like candles. Art historians are still fighting about this. What's insane is this place has 700 years of European art, and it's completely free. Free. You can walk in off the street and see Rembrandt, Da Vinci, Monet, all the art history heavy hitters, without paying a penny. All right, from London's freebie to New York's suggested donation, that's not really a suggestion. The Met. New York's answer to every European museum combined. 7.5 million people are trying to see everything because this place has everything. There's an actual Egyptian temple inside, the Temple of Dendor. They just moved it from Egypt, put it in a glass box in Central Park because it's America. You've got medieval armor next to haute couture gowns, next to ancient Greek statues, next to contemporary art. That just makes you question everything. It would take 100 hours just to glance at everything for 30 seconds each. That's not a museum visit, that's a part-time job. Here's a tip that very few people know about. The rooftop garden. Seasonal art installations there with views of Central Park and Manhattan. It's where rich people go to feel cultured while drinking $20, $30 martinis. But the view is actually worth it. From American ambition to Chinese civilization. Coming in at number 2, with 8.6 million visitors, the National Museum of China is literally the world's largest museum building because, well, of course, China went big. 5,000 years of Chinese civilization under one massive roof. We're talking jade burial suits made from over 2,000 pieces of jade that were sewn together with gold thread. Ancient bronze vessels that look like they were designed by aliens. Artifacts so old, they make European history look like last week. The fascinating part? It's half ancient history, half communist revolution propaganda. You go from looking at 3,000-year-old oracle bones to photos of Mao in like 2 rooms. It's history with Chinese characteristics, let's say. But there's one museum that crushes all others in visitor numbers, artistic importance, and the ability to make you question everything. The Louvre. Over 10 million visitors. More annual guests than the entire population of Sweden. This isn't just the most popular museum in the world, it's a pilgrimage site for anyone who's ever felt anything about art. Yeah, everyone races to the Mona Lisa. And yes, she is smaller than you expect, about the size of a poster in your dorm room. But here's what's crazy. You stand there with like 200 or 300 other people that are holding up phones, and somehow she still gets you. That smile that's not quite a smile. Those eyes that just follow you. 500 years later, and we still can't figure her out. But while everyone's fighting for Mona Lisa selfies, you could be standing alone with Venus de Milo, this ancient Greek goddess missing her arms but not her power. Or Winged Victory, a headless angel at the top of a staircase that literally takes your breath away. The secret that nobody talks about? Napoleon's apartments. While peasants are elbowing each other for Leonardo da Vinci, you can walk through the most insanely opulent rooms. Gold everything. Chandeliers that cost more than your house. Furniture that makes Versailles look modest. It would take you 75 days to see everything here for just 30 seconds each. This former palace has 35,000 artworks on display. You could visit every day for a year and a half and still miss stuff. But here's the thing about the Louvre. Standing in those galleries, surrounded by the greatest achievements of human creativity, you realize this isn't about like one painting or one statue. It's about our collective need to create, to preserve, to witness beauty. Every single person in those 10 million visitors is there for the same reason, to feel something bigger than themselves. So there you have it, from London's dinosaurs to Paris's enigmatic smile. These 10 museums don't just house artifacts, they're proof that humans have always been extra, building pyramids, painting ceilings while lying on scaffolding, literally flying to the moon and bringing back souvenirs. 70 million visitors can't be wrong. Whether it's the Rosetta Stone that unlocked ancient languages or the Apollo module that carried us beyond Earth, these famous art museums 2025 and beyond remind us we've always been capable of the absolutely incredible. All right, for our armchair travelers, if you can't make it to Paris or London, most of these museums now have mind-blowing virtual tours. The Louvre is so good, you can zoom in closer than you could in person. No crowds, no jet lag, just you and priceless art in your pajamas. Look, if this global museum guide got you ready to book flights and stand in some lines, smash that like button. It really just genuinely helps us out. Subscribe for more guides to the world's must-visit museums 2025 and beyond. And before you jet off to see the world's biggest museums, head to curatedglobe.com. We've got the best ebook and paperback travel guides that'll transform your museum visit from, oh, cool art, to actually understanding why that art changed the world. Take care and peace out.